Sirens, smoke, the sound of shouting echoing off concrete. Guards in riot gear brace behind shields as hundreds of inmates surge through a yard littered with burning debris. Prison riots are not just chaotic outbursts. They're flashpoints that expose deep cracks in justice systems and often reshape policy far beyond the prison walls. In this video, we're counting down the top 5 prison riots that changed history. From New York's infamous Attica uprising to a South American massacre that forced international reforms, each event left a legacy of bloodshed, lawsuits, and new laws. Stay until the end. The number 1 riot on our list is one most Americans have never heard of, yet it changed global standards for how prisons are run. This is Top 5 Prison Riots That Changed History. Attica Prison Uprising, 1971, New York. On the morning of September 9, 1971, tension at Attica Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison in upstate New York, reached a breaking point. Years of overcrowding, racial discrimination, and poor conditions had primed the prison for revolt. That day, more than 1,200 inmates seized control of much of the facility, taking 42 staff hostage and establishing a makeshift command center in the yard. The prisoners issued a list of 27 demands, including better medical care, fair visitation rights, religious freedom, and an end to brutality. Outside the walls, the uprising drew national attention. Journalists and observers were allowed in to see conditions firsthand. For 4 days, tense negotiations continued. Inmates built barricades and organized committees. Guards and hostages were held in separate groups. Governor Nelson Rockefeller refused to visit or negotiate directly. On September 13th, state troopers and corrections officers stormed the prison in a hail of tear gas and gunfire. When the smoke cleared, 43 people were dead, 33 inmates and 10 hostage. Strangeway showed that when grievances go unanswered, even a 19th-century fortress can be overrun. It also proved the power of television. Images of prisoners waving from rooftops, smoke curling behind them, forced the government to confront issues long ignored. Carandiru Prison Massacre. Just 2 years after Strangeways, Brazil witnessed an even bloodier episode. On October 2, 1992, a fight between inmates in Pavilion 9 of São Paulo's Carandiru Penitentiary escalated into a riot. Military police stormed the building. In less than half an hour, 111 prisoners were dead, many shot at point-blank range. No guards died. Carandiru, designed for 3,000 inmates, held more than 7,000 at the time. Overcrowding, gang rivalries, and appalling conditions made it a tinderbox. Survivors described officers firing indiscriminately, using knives and dogs, and preventing medical aid. Why it matters. The massacre shocked Brazil and the world. It became a rallying point for human rights advocates and highlighted the rise of prison gangs like the Primeiro Comando da Capital, PCC, which grew partly in response to state violence. Trials dragged on for decades. Many police convictions were later overturned. Carandiru was demolished in 2002, replaced by a park, but its legacy endures in Brazil's ongoing prison crises. Where Attica and Strangeways sparked reforms, Carandiru underscored impunity. It revealed what happens when lethal force is unleashed behind closed doors, and how one massacre can transform the criminal underworld. New Mexico State Penitentiary Riot, 1980, USA. Before Attica, Strangeways, and Carandiru were household names, the New Mexico State Penitentiary Riot set the standard for brutality inside a U.S. prison. On the night of February 2, 1980, a group of inmates overpowered guards at the maximum security facility south of Santa Fe. What began as an escape attempt tour. It spurred calls for reform and international aid to improve Honduran prison conditions. But similar tragedies have continued, including deadly fires in Comayagua and Tamara. It spurred calls for reform and international aid to improve Honduran prison conditions. But similar tragedies have continued, including deadly fires in Comayagua and Tamara. Outro. Closing segment. From New York to Honduras, these uprisings weren't just explosions of violence. They were turning points. Attica helped launch the prisoners' rights movement. Strangeways triggered sweeping reforms in the UK. Carandiru exposed state brutality in Brazil. New Mexico revealed the nightmare of unchecked chaos. El Porvenir showed how transnational gang wars turned prisons into battlegrounds. Each riot forced governments, courts, and the public to confront the hidden world of incarceration. Policies changed, lawsuits were filed, new standards were written. But overcrowding, neglect, and violence persist in many systems today. If these stories tell us anything, it's that what happens behind prison walls never stays there. The echoes reach courts, legislatures, and living rooms around the world. Understanding these flashpoints is the first step toward preventing the next one. Thank you for watching Behind Bars TV. If you found this look at the 5 prison riots that changed history eye-opening, hit the like button and subscribe for more real stories from behind the walls. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments. We read everyone. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.